If you haven't got problems, I feel bad for your son. I got 99 problems and a bitch ain't one.
Hello everybody, Donlinedude here, and welcome to my review of Indestructible Hulk issues 1 to 5. Marvel Comics have gained a reputation nowadays for altering their comic books to match their various film adaptations. Of course, there is a valid reason for these decisions. If the film is successful, there'll be plenty of potential new readers, and by making these changes to the comics, the company aims to provide a better jumping on point for these new fans. Now this can work well, and sometimes not so well. During Grant Morrison's run on X-Men, the characters sported black leather outfits similar to those worn in the movies. As another example, Spider-Man received organic web shooters in the comics not long after the release of his first film. I can understand why these choices were made, but they're purely aesthetic changes, and what was there before wouldn't have been that jarring for people making the transition. Of course, sometimes what's in the comics can be too jarring for new readers and therefore does need to be altered. Steve Rogers, the original Captain America, was killed off in 2007 as part of the fallout of Mark Millar's Civil War. He was resurrected in early 2010, but even then he didn't regain the mantle of Captain America until a year later in 2011, during the release of Captain America the First Avenger. And by the way, if there's anyone watching this video who has made the jump from film to comics, I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this. This is why Indestructible Hulk impressed me so much. Not only is this attempt to match the movies more rooted in the narrative, but writer Mark Waid takes the ideas he's given and runs with them. Many critics agreed that the Hulk was the best thing about Avengers Assemble, not just because of Mark Ruffalo's performance as Bruce Banner, but also Joss Whedon's characterization of the Hulk and Banner in his script. Whedon took what was established in The Incredible Hulk and built upon that. In that movie, Banner's character arc was learning that the Hulk, while dangerous, is not heartless, and he can be used for good. In Avengers Assemble, Bruce is no longer trying to cure the Hulk. Instead, he's moved on and focuses on helping people. That's where the parallel with Indestructible Hulk begins. Issue 1 opens with the Hulk having somehow disappeared off everybody's radar for the past few weeks. Of course, that means everyone is on edge, particularly the acting director of S.H.I.E.L.D, Maria Hill, who has made finding the Hulk her priority. During her first break in weeks, Banner pays her a surprise visit in a crowded diner, with the intention of making her an offer. It's through the following conversation that we come to realise the reason behind the new title. Indestructible Hulk refers to Banner's new perception of the Hulk. He's come to realise that right now the Hulk is incurable, by extension indestructible, and that he's been wasting his life trying to prove otherwise. As a result, his career as a scientist has been completely derailed, to the point where he jokes that he'll be lucky if his gravestone doesn't just say Hulk smash. So Bruce has decided to balance this. In his own words, Hulk smashes, Banner builds. He wants to use Banner time for more productive purposes, and that's why he makes his offer to Hill. In exchange for a lab, staff, and budget, he'll provide the Hulk for S.H.I.E.L.D to use on missions, and after he helps S.H.I.E.L.D apprehend the Mad Thinker, Hill agrees to this. This instantly bucks the trend of traditional Hulk stories. Usually he's on the run from the government because they want to use his gamma-irradiated cells to create weapons, but now he's technically working for the government, just on his own terms. Bruce has already been through a major character arc, and what we see here is the result of that. It's interesting to note that Banner isn't depicted as a perfect human being. He's somewhat arrogant in this position of power, and at times it feels like he's forcing a false modesty. These aren't complaints, however, they're just observations. In my opinion, it makes Banner more human, and it's tempered anyway by his dry wit and moments when he is genuinely modest. Are you listening, Otto Octavius? The idea of the Hulk working for S.H.I.E.L.D is sheer brilliance, and in issue 3, we see this play out fully as the Hulk takes part in an operation against AIM, who are trying to reactivate the Quintronic Man. It's here that we get the funniest line in the series so far, when Bruce introduces himself to the AIM scientists. I defy anyone to stand in close proximity to the Hulk and not wet their pants. Issue 2 guest stars Iron Man, which gives Waid the opportunity to touch on another aspect of Avengers Assemble that audiences enjoyed, and that was the bromance between Tony Stark and Banner. Here though, there's more tension between the pair, and even a bit of jealousy. Bruce, whilst clearly having a great deal of respect for Tony, is also deeply frustrated by Tony's refusal to treat him as an equal. But that's not saying that Banner is the bigger man here, at least not literally. He's very condescending to Tony at the end of the issue, saying that all he does is build forward from what's already there. Whereas a true visionary, which he implies to be himself, studies the unknown and builds backwards from it. The dynamic between these two heroes has been well translated from screen to page in my opinion, and Waid has a great voice for Iron Man. Issues 4 and 5 feature a tumor in yet another attempt to take over Atlantis. Now, this story isn't bad, it's just that it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. After seeing Hulk be aided by a resistance comprised of the survivors of a village a tumor recently conquered, I actually miss Namor. Now, I'm not a fan of the Submariner. In fact, most of the time I think he's a total dick. But Hulk and Namor have quite a history. They were both the founding members of the team known as the Defenders. In fact, their bickering formed much of the comedy in the series. It would have been nice to see Namor make an appearance here and see Mark Waid's take on this dynamic between the pair. That's not to say the Resistance characters are without personality though. The main female character in the Resistance is enamored with the Hulk, but sees Bruce Banner as a puny nobody, and that's just hilarious. Particularly when Bruce needs to Hulk out, and to do so he kisses her, knowing full well she'll smack him for it. It's hard not to like Bruce Banner after reading bits like that. All of this great writing is elevated by some simply gorgeous artwork by Lenil. Man, this guy knows how to draw action. All of the action scenes in these issues are epic and beautifully framed, particularly the fight between Iron Man and the Hulk. I also like the way Yu frames issue 1's first half. We keep cutting back to images of a ticking clock in the diner, which, combined with the tense nature of Bruce and Maria's meeting, perfectly showcases that the Hulk is a time bomb waiting to go off. The only other problem I can find with this is that the Hulk doesn't speak very much, and once again I feel that's a bit of a missed opportunity. The only time the Hulk does talk is in issue 2, when he says the word Raka in reference to Bruce's gamma fracas seen previously in the issue. I didn't realise the Hulk had been taking speech lessons from Scooby-Doo. This is a minor quibble however, and does nothing to hurt the quality of this series, which is a fantastic new start for the Hulk that has put him slap bang in the middle of the Marvel Universe. And I'm excited to see what Mark Waid has planned for Bruce Banner next. I'm giving issues 1 to 3 of Indestructible Hulk a 5 out of 5, and issues 4 and 5 a 4 out of 5. Thanks for listening, everybody.
I got 99